That's all right.
The Governor of Plateau State, the Deputy Governor, I stand on the established protocol. As already said here, Mr. Abraham Mago is the Honorable Minister of Information. He is here with a formidable team from all sectors of the media, both local and international. Mr. Mago, as you already know, is one of yours, having gone to school here in Zaman Teachers College, who also started his formative career as a trade unionist and a journalist in Plateau State. So I now have the honor and privilege of presenting to you the Honorable Minister of Information. Also here with us, Governor, is the representative of the Honorable Minister of National Planning. He's being represented here by a director in the person of Mr. Ademola Adeyemi. Molora Woods is the SA to Mr. President on documentation. Also, Adebi Bolaji is SA to Mr. President on media. The National President of the NUJ is being represented here by Shaibu Usman Liman, who is the National Secretary. Ratau is being represented here by Mr. Henry Odakala. He's also the National Secretary. The National Council of Women's Society is being represented here by Hajia Aisha Ahmed, who is the National Treasurer. Engineer Emmanuel Mosu is the President of Transformation Agenda. He's here with us. Also here with us is Malam Ali Abacha. Abacha is the Chairman of Northern Packaging Front. Mr. Kingsley Osadolo is the SA Media to the Honorable Minister of Information. Amina Fodio is SA Communication, and she's in charge of the social media. In fact, she puts us on the front burner. As we're talking now, the world is watching, listening, and getting to us. So Amina Fodio. She's a descendant of Fodio. So, anyway, we were not conquered here in Plateau. Mr. Ndao is one of yours. He was the former Chief Press Secretary to Solomon Lara. He is also the Director in charge of film production in the Federal Ministry of Information. While Mr. Chikeze was also a just man, he is the Director of Public Communication in the Ministry of Information. Mr. Samuel Ajayi is the Director of Press and Production in the Ministry and the National Coordinator of the National Good Governance Tour. Mrs. Ngozi Okwogo is Deputy Director in the Ministry of Information. Mr. Kwenda Wanaiga is one of the most senior journalists on this tour and a stakeholder and the management staff of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Is also important. Your Excellencies, we also have Mr. Dennis Emmanuel, the National Coordinator, Youth Movement for Good Governance. Then Joe Muta is the Chief Press Secretary to the Honorable Minister. And then we have from the media, both local and international, they are all seated here, and everybody is being represented. I'm a subject, I'm from one man, specifically one. I'm a director from the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Dama, the son of the soil, like you said, from Guampa, and we're equally proud of you, sir. On that note, we pass the microphone to the leader of this delegation, Mr. Baramaku, the Honorable Minister of Information, to deliver the message he has for Plateau State. Honorable Minister, sir.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, Jonathan, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Plateau State, the Chairman of our great party in the state, the Secretary to the State Government, my brother, the Honorable Commissioner for Information, who has been leading us all over the state in the last 2 days, working hard day and night, other members of the State Executive Council, the National President of NGG, Mohammed Garba, ably represented there by the Deputy President of NGG, and they have all been introduced. He is the leader of the media delegation. Directors from the Federal Ministry of Information, officials of Plateau State Government who are here with us, the National President of National Council of Women Societies, ably represented by the National Treasurer, members of the National Good Governance Team, made up of local and international media reporters, as well as leaders of civil society organizations across the country, distinguished citizens of Plateau State, and other visitors who are part of this team here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, let me, on behalf of the National Good Governance Team, thank you sincerely for the reception we have received since we came here on the 18th. This is the 3rd day. We were received at the Mararaba Jama Junction by the Commissioner for Information and other members of the State Executive Council. They drove us into Jos, and since we came, every arrangement has been made to make our state conducive for the assignment that we have come to do. Let us appreciate you for this level of support. Your Excellency, the National Good Governance Law was agreed upon between the Federal Ministry of Information, the National Planning Commission, and indeed the Forum of Governors. So the federal government, represented by my ministry, the Ministry of National Planning, and the Office of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Performance Monitoring, designed this law. After we finished, we met with governors at the National Council of State, the National Economic Council, not the National Council of State. We are all governors and members. We sold a beer to the National Economic Council. And the governors, all of them accepted. We then called a meeting between the federal team and the Nigerian Governors Forum Secretariat. We met, we redesigned the program, taking into account all the observations made by the state governors, and we agreed on a program that will convey the same message to the Nigerian people. Why are we out on good governance law? Your Excellency, we notice that over the years, the attention of the nation has been taken up by our politics. Nobody is discussing development. Wherever you go, we are quarreling over positions, we are quarreling over elections, we are quarreling over civil society, civil communal connections and relationships. We are not discussing development. And we believe that democracy is about development. It's about the progress we can make, the program, the projects which make us win elections and what we want to do for the people. It's about raising living standards. It's about discussing the progress of society. So because of the absence of discussion on development, both in the national platform, as well as in the media, the entire space in the nation has been taken over by quarrels between personalities, between politicians, between political parties. And when somebody comes into Nigeria and goes back and reads the papers and listens to the radio and the television, you will go with the impression that nothing is happening in this country at all. That we're only quarreling. And we feel this is wrong for both the citizens and those of you and all of us that God has enabled at this time to lead Nigeria. We must draw the attention of our leaders and the attention of the citizens of Nigeria back to the issue of development. Democracy is different from military rule, and you have been part of both. You have been the principal actor in both systems. Under the military, you didn't have political parties that would quarrel over elections. So when you are appointed a military administrator, your loyalty is to the commander-in-chief in Abuja. And then you go in and do your best and report back and carry the people along. Now it is different. So people expect that in this democracy there will be no disagreements. No. And the point we are making is politicians may disagree and quarrel, but the issue is on development. And so we want the media, we want the country, we want political parties and politicians to return to the issue of development. Secondly, we agree that this talk for it to make impact, it shouldn't be partisan. Because if the talk is seen as if it's a PDP tour or ACN tour or CPC tour or ANPP tour or one tour of one political group or the other, we will divide public opinion and the real issues will not be discussed. And that is why we agree that this tour is purely for development, to address social issues, to see what state and federal governments and local governments are doing. What are their programs? What are their challenges? What are their achievements? What are the prospects? What are the investment opportunities in all these parts of the country for the transformation of Nigeria? So this tour is not partisan. And that is the beauty of the tour. That's why every state, every party, we are all part of this together. Secondly, this tour is about bringing up the silent issues where we go. And we started with FCT. From there we went to Kwara State, we came to Niger State, and Plateau State is the third state we are visiting on this good governance tour. Let me say, sir, that as part of this work, we have built in a proper reporting back system for the people. We have a very strong media team. All the national newspapers are represented. All the national electronic media houses are represented. And the stories are filtered to all the media about what we see, about the issues on ground. But we have also made this a difference. There is a difference between this and the previous ones. We are taking advantage of the latest media technology by ensuring a strong presence of the social media. So we have a very strong social media team that is streaming whatever we see in pictures, in stories, on all the social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and everything is also streamed live on the Ministry of Information website. So whatever we're discussing, we're seeing in Plateau State in the last 2 days is all over the world. People have followed, and we have received very good feedbacks in terms of reaction of citizens to what we have seen on the ground. Now, as to what we have done in Plateau, we will be discussing it at the Citizens Forum later today, where we will be able to report back the progress we have seen in the last 2 days. We still have 1 or 2 projects to visit before the forum, where we expect that you and your commissioners and stakeholders will be present, and it is going to be live on all the electronic platforms, television, radio, and social media. It will be live. And during the forum, which will be holding after we come back from the last 2 projects we are going to see, you will have the opportunity to answer questions from citizens about what you have done. And you will also have the opportunity to tell the world what your vision, what your programs, your development initiatives have been, and the results that have come in, and what we expect. The Citizens Forum is usually very robust, so you will expect all manner of questions. But thank God you are a politician. I'm sure you are able to respond to whatever question that your own people will ask you. On my part, let me say that we are happy so far, but we will be meeting during the forum, and we will then let the world also know what we have seen in Plateau State. Let me sincerely thank you and the people of Plateau State for the opportunity that you have given us to place your state on the limelight of national discourse, this time on development, on the issues of development, because development is central. Sometimes what we see as quarrels also emanate from hunger. We want to see what government is doing to address the social needs of people. I thank you so much for this opportunity, and we thank the people of Plateau State also for the peace and serenity we have seen since we came here. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
I believe the Honorable Minister deserves a big round of applause for us. Thank you so much, sir. At this point, after the Honorable Minister, our leader in this state, will present Ms. Ondimas. But before then, I just introduce to you very properly the people seated with him on the high table. To the governor's immediate right, Mr. Ignatius Longjan is the Deputy Governor. We have Dr. Haruna Dabin, MNI, is the Chairman of the People's Democratic Party here in Plateau State. Professor Shekhar Best is the Secretary to the Plateau State Government. You know the people on this other side of the divide. And down here we have a cross-section of members of the State Executive Council. They are all here. Honorable Commissioners, you're welcome. All the special advisors to the Governor, they are equally here. On that note, I have the very similar honor and privilege to invite the Governor of Plateau State, Dr. John Adebijan, to present his message. Mr. Governor.
Let me welcome very sincerely Plateau State. The son of the sheriff, the Honorable Minister of Information, and his wonderful team. The Deputy Governor of Plateau State, the Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, the Commissioner for Information, who is hosting this team, representatives of honorable ministers, members of the State Executive Council, the Secretary to the State Government, special advisors, permit me to cut down on this protocol because sometimes these protocols take half of the time they use. And I hope Nigeria can come up to a situation where we agree on how protocols should be made in gatherings like this. I remember, I think it was in 2008, that I was in the US for the presidential breakfast prayer. There were foreign heads of state and all high government officials of the American government. But the protocol was simple. President Bush, Lady Bush. That was the end of the protocol. Really. So I think we should honestly, look at. Sometimes when I start reading protocol list, when they write it from me, it takes 2 pages. I don't know why we like being mentioned by names, by positions in every gathering, but I hope we'll overcome that. Let me welcome very sincerely this initiative by the Minister of Information. Truly, it was discussed with the governors at the National, was it Council of States or Economic Council? National Economic Council. The only area that we had disagreed was that let this tour not be a marking giving tour. Because as you can see, and as you go around, like Plateau State, we are one of the poorest states in the country. We receive averagely only 2.4 billion naira every month. But there are states that take home 15 billion, 12 billion, 9 billion. And if you want to start comparing what 15 billion can put on the ground and what 2.4 billion can put on the ground, how do you now, what is the basis for saying that you give Plateau State 30% and then you give probably River State 80%? The money we receive is not comparable. And of course, as we are aware, I don't know what you would have marked the federal government itself that takes 52% of the whole federal allocation. So, like the Honorable Minister has said, this initiative of the Good Governance Tour is the best way it is being handled. Let the citizens, let the world see what every governor has been able to do with the kind of resources he has been given. And I think that is the basis where we can be judged by our own citizens as having provided what people prefer to refer to as a dividend of democracy. And here on the Plateau, when I was told by my Commissioner of Information that as you come in, you are coming to pay courtesy call to me, I said, no, take our guests round. Let them see the state. Let them see the little we've been able to do with also the little money we get. And then we can do the courtesy call. Then we'll be talking on the basis of understanding what is on the ground. And I'm happy you have spent 2 days here and you've been able to go around to see what you are able to see. But I know it is not possible for you to see everything that we've been able to do within just 2-3 days. Mr. President was here before our second election, our second 10-year election, even he who we took by helicopter to go around, he could not commission all the projects that we've been able to do. So it is not possible driving by road within 3 days to be able. Mr. President spent 2 days here. So even within 3 days by road, you cannot even see anything. But honestly, one can say modestly that we've tried to use the little resources we get to the best of our ability and in the overall best interest of our people. Like the Honorable Minister has said, I have seen it all. I was in the military. I was military governor in 2 states. I retired, came home. My people felt I should go into politics because I was very young that time. I was a youth. At the age of 46 when I retired, people in their 50s call themselves youths. So, at the age of 46, I was still a youth. So my people said, let us not waste you, come and join politics. But I never knew I was going to be called upon to be governor of Plateau State again. But here am I today. Believe me, I've said it several times that if we knew, we would not have interrupted democracy the way we did as military people. And we have been advising our young colleagues that we have left behind that let them concentrate on their military duties. Governance is not for the military. Allow the politicians to continue making mistakes, they will get it right. And here we are today. So you can see that the initiative that's been taken by a democratic government to really look at itself, see what it has been able to do, throw it to the public. The PDP or any other government in any state is not afraid of showing up what it has done. It is for the people to judge in 2015 whether PDP deserves to continue to be given chance to govern this country or not. It will be seen by the performances of most of us who are PDP governors and the federal government. And you'll also see what the other parties who are governing some states have done. And people can now judge by themselves. And that is the beauty of democracy. And I want to appreciate this courage that the federal government, through you as a minister, have initiated. And we in the Plateau State, we believe that we have been shortchanged by the federal government a lot, as you would have seen. Most of the projects you have seen are being done by the state with our very scarce resources. The federal government has not really brought in any big major project to Plateau State. Rather, we have been receiving the worst publicity by the Nigerian media. I will say it here today. If there's any state that has suffered negative publicity in Nigeria, it has been Plateau State. We have just been publicized as a state that is killing its people. Bad governance. But I have always kept my calm and said the day will come when God will vindicate me. And I believe this is one of them because I didn't initiate this visit, but God used him to initiate this visit, and you have come to see Plateau State. Because when I attended some few weeks ago the national conference of your media guild of editors, I challenged the guild of editors that we must stop this armchair journalism in this country. We must go into investigative journalism. People, opponents of governments, just write articles and send to you, and you just publish it without even ever coming to see these things by yourself. One newspaper went and published one dilapidated primary school and said, this is a primary school in Jos. Yes, it's a primary school in Jos, but it is one of the areas that have been a no-go area for government to even go and carry rubbish from such areas because of the crisis. There's no contractor that could have gone in there to do that school. It is now this flood that has opened the eyes of our brothers here in Jos, that they now agree that we can come into areas where they stay, because they felt, I just want to knock down their houses and throw them out of Plateau State. That was their opinion about us. But I'm happy they are now seeing it otherwise. They have now agreed we should now go and develop the streets and do the drainages in their areas because of the loss of lives they had when they had flood in Rikos. But the media reporting it, oh, it's junk. Junk doesn't like Muslims. And yet, in the whole northern Nigeria, Plateau State sponsors more Muslims than any other Muslim state to Mecca every year. I'm happy that this year the Chief Imam of Jos is the one that is the Admiral Hajj of Plateau State today in Saudi Arabia. They have been calling, appreciating even the welfare that I have put for them on the ground in Saudi Arabia. One of the best, if not the best in the whole country. But what is the media talking? Jang doesn't like Muslims. I didn't create Muslims. They were created, we were all created by God as human beings. We're all hoping to go to heaven, all of us. Whichever way anybody decides to follow to get to heaven, that is his or her problem. Yes, I'm not God to judge anybody. I'm following the way I believe will take me to heaven. I could have gone any other direction. There are people who don't even believe that there's God at all. It's God to come and judge. The day is coming when everybody will stand before the Lord and give account of his or her life, and then it will be known whether he or she is qualified to have eternal life or not. That is the truth about it. I'm a pastor. So I have nothing against Muslims. I have relations who are Muslims, Birom people who are Muslims. I've never asked them, look, don't come to my house because you are a Muslim. There was a time they said, I don't even allow Muslims to even pray in my house. And one day, we came back from campaign, and a Muslim lady who didn't follow us to the campaign was in my wife's sitting room praying there. And I said, look at a Muslim praying in my wife's sitting room. And they say, I don't allow Muslims to pray in my house. So this negative reporting about Plateau should stop. I'm happy the Minister of Information himself have brought, you cannot get a collection of any media in Nigeria better than what we're having here today. It is not about Jonah Jang. The longest I can stay as a governor in Plateau State is 8 years. So by 2015, I must quit. Somebody else will take over. And people thought, Jonah Jang will not even get a second tenure. But the people of Plateau State, from what you have seen, believe in me. and they brought me overwhelmingly. Go and check the records of 2011 election, see the governor that won with the number of votes that I did. So I thank you very much, very sincerely, Honorable Minister, for this tour, because the time of our vindication has come. As the result of the bad publication we've been getting, several federal government institutions have been, they are trying to make a move to move them out of this place. Of course, they moved some. The central bank head office for this zone was here. They've taken it to Bauchi for no reason. And many attempts have been made to move some of them out. I will have to run to Abuja, shout, before they start saying, no, this wasn't the aim. And yet, people have already started planning to move. So I want to say it loud and clear here, that any federal institution that is here, if it means fighting, will fight. It will not move anywhere. As a matter of fact, we expect more. And more projects. As you have seen, no federal presence here. And yet, we have joined the millionaire voters. We gave Mr. President over 1.2 million votes, clean votes, that the opposition, when they took him to court, they couldn't take Plateau, they couldn't even include Plateau as an area they were complaining about. So what else do they want us to do? We are in total support of the federal government. We voted overwhelmingly for Mr. President. And yet, Plateau, Jang. Like I said the other day, I said, probably if I give some people my wife, they won't even appreciate us. But my wife is the last thing I will give. Mr. President, to commission certain projects. Some of the projects he commissioned are projects that we intervened on federal roads. And he publicly announced that they will refund us. We should write. We wrote. The Minister of Works is not here. He knows the kind of reply he gave me, that we didn't follow due process. So the President didn't know about due process when he announced that it should be refunded. So I'm expecting our refund. Any long English does not arise. So, because today Mr. President in Nigeria is like a god. He has said it and it must be done. Yes, the work has been done. You saw the quality of the projects that have been done. And somebody will tell me I didn't follow due process. What is the due process when people were suffering? And I would want you to look at these uncompleted projects, like the Panyamboko Swamba Road you are going to see. That contractor have reported him 2 times. They have refused to remove him. You have seen the bad job he's doing and how he has been there for years, no progress. So why do you continue keeping such a contractor on projects? And then there is one important project, the International Youth Development Center, that the federal government is supposed to build in Kura Falls. Kura Falls is one of the best tourist areas in the whole of this country. As a matter of fact, I've told the President privately, let me say it openly today. Let the federal government come and build the Camp David of Nigeria in that area. We decided to really go on infrastructural development and our own revenue generation. We're computerizing the entire government. Very soon the entire government of Plateau State will be an e-government. And our revenue collection is being fully computerized. Let me say it here. I know my civil servants are angry with me because I always criticize them publicly. But honestly, we are reorganizing the civil service because they are our worst problems that we have. I'm sorry to say. I don't know what you have in the federal government, but I've said before 2015, the civil service of Plateau State must change. You would have heard that the local governments have been on strike. Yes, they've been on strike because they want to continue with the whole business as usual. And I'm saying no, it cannot continue. So when they share the oil revenue, I've told you the little we get, but we cannot continue this way. We have to now look inward. People have forgotten that Plateau State fed this country with tin mining until oil was discovered. Now we are left with the dilapidated land, and you saw the agricultural projects that we are undertaking, but most of the land in this part of the state has been spoiled by tin mining. And I will take this opportunity to once again cry out that the federal government and even the United Nations should come to our aid, because when you dug this tin, you went and brought out all kinds of, what do they call it? All kinds of metals from the ground. And we didn't know it. Some of our people drink them in water, we plaster our walls with all kinds of things. And today, cancer is becoming a very serious problem on the plateau. Women suffering from breast cancer, men suffering from prostate cancer. I will ask the federal government to seriously come to our aid, to do some research and see what we can do with these open ponds that are scattered. If you were to go on the air, you'll feel sorry for us in this state. Having fed this country, and today we get the least from the oil that the tin mining money was used to prospect for oil. And now that the oil is gotten, we have been put behind and forgotten. So, I mean, this is a cry on behalf of the people of Plateau State that something should be done. Well, the other one, even if I say it, I know the minister may not even want to carry it, because this revenue sharing, we must revisit it all. Federal government taking 52% of the entire revenue is too much. As you see, there's a lot of work to be done in the states. I mean, how many schools have federal government got? Universities, but the schools are there where you have the children in the grassroots that need schools before they get to that university that the federal government is trying to build. And let me say it very clearly, we are ignoring development of middle manpower. Everybody wants to be a degree holder. So who will be the laborer? Yes, everybody wants to tie and go to the office. I'm a degree holder. We are completely ignoring the development of the middle manpower. I went to Canada. We just came back from Germany. These two governments are two governments that I have visited, and I know they are working on developing middle manpower more than offering degrees to people. Because you don't have the middle manpower, you cannot develop. So I think I will have to look at again our educational system. And let us look at these technical institutions more than saying some states, 3 universities. When did we start? And look at the number of universities, but we have killed all the polytechnics are not functioning well, the technical schools are not functioning well. And yet we're talking of youth employment. I mean, what will a youth do even with a degree that is unemployable? When everybody wants to go and get a quick degree, go and read history, geography, this and that, then you come to look for jobs. Teachers teaching geography, plenty. So where do you carry the geography people and put? As a matter of fact, in Canada, even if you read engineering, you go back to the polytechnic and do the practical. And then you get your master's after doing that practical. We found out in Germany it's the other way around. Before you go and read engineering, you must go to a technical school after your secondary school, so that you get the practical before you even go and read the theory in the degree. And so even if you have the degree, you can still use your hands to do the job. So we have to really look again at our educational system and stop crying about youth unemployment when we are not preparing the youth to really get employed or to be self-employed. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I'm happy that you have accepted to see one or two projects again before we go to the town hall meeting, because I particularly requested that this team should go and see the new government house we're building. People ask me, why is the new government house a priority? I say, yes, it is. Because the government house here was built as a presidential lodge. One military governor converted it into government house, and the state did not have a presidential lodge. Anytime the president comes, you start looking for where to put him. I cannot be sleeping comfortably and my president comes and I have nowhere to put him. So we reverted this government house back to the presidential lodge that it was originally meant for. We renovated where the Queen stayed in 1956 when she visited Nigeria. And that's where my office currently is. And I hope before I leave in 2015, I will give Plateau State a befitting government house, which we are going to. Thank you and God bless us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Governor, and I want to believe he equally deserves a bigger round of applause for that wonderful piece.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Please don't fall into shine our shots. Who won't touch you? What's that for? It's a pleasure to meet you. Let's come like this.
Okay, very good.